Airtech Multi Soldier here, and I'm back to talk about the Orville New Horizons Season 3, Episode 10, the season final of the Orville. I think it's a great episode. Not as good as the last two episodes we've had, but again, I said from my last review, I didn't think it was going to be as good as them because it is the final, and you can't really top those two great episodes. So, again, it's still a good episode. I love the stories we got. I love the comedy we got. And I just want to... Because I've had this quite a couple of times now in my comments. Yes, I know people miss the comedy. But you have to understand that Seth MacFarlane is trying to change the show into Star Trek. Into more like it. Is he getting rid of the comedy? No. This episode pretty much proved that he's keeping the comedy. It's just not going to be a massive part of the show anymore. But I am unfortunately thinking that this might be it for the Orville, because I don't know, I just have a bad feeling. The only reason I think this show will get renewed isn't because it's a great show, but I think it's because Disney will need more stuff on Disney Plus. I think that's the only way this show will get renewed, unfortunately. And yeah, I'm kind of worried about that. But I think the Orville should come back. Renew the Orville, Disney. Just do something right for once. But the episode as a whole, I love the storyline. I love the fact we got to see returning characters. There's nothing wrong with this episode. I think every part of it was great. Seth MacFarlane, again, with small episodes, they're still perfect. They're still great. They're still fun to watch. And we found out a very important thing from this episode. A very important thing. Something that happened a couple of episodes ago that was massively important. And I'll get to that in the spoiler section. But yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. It's a great episode. It didn't feel like it dragged on. It didn't feel like there was any pointless scenes. There was comedy. There was no action in this episode. But you didn't need it. Because there was two storylines going on that were as important as each other. I enjoyed Kelly's story in this episode. And if you've watched the episode, you know what I mean when I talk about Kelly's story. And yeah, again, the Orville is what Star Trek used to be. You know, it gives you a great story and a lesson. And it doesn't punch you in the face to try to tell you the fucking, story. It doesn't try to fucking make you go to one side. It just informs you, gives you the information, and lets you make your fucking decision. And that's what I loved about Star Trek. And that's what I miss. And having the fear that Orville might be gone, having the fear that we might not get this stuff anymore, but we'll continue to get Lower Decks and we'll continue to get New Trek, that pisses me off more than anything. But other than that, it's a great episode. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. I mean, it was just great. And it's a 10 out of 10 from me. So let's get to the spoilers now. If you don't want to hear spoilers, leave now. Okay, so I did say there was something important we found out in this episode, and it was important. What happened to that sandwich that Gordon sent into the future? We found out it turned up just at the right time to make Gordon happy. And again, I didn't know I cared about this sandwich until that fucking scene. I was just like, oh yeah, that stupid... Again, a sandwich. A fucking sandwich was entertaining. More than Star Trek. More than anything they've done. That was funny, and I was fucking just happy to see it. I mean, oh my god, it's like how sad Star Trek has become. A sandwich can beat it in entertainment. But yes, we found out about the sandwich. It did come back, and Gordon ate it. So yes, if you were wondering about the sandwich, we found out about it. Okay, let's get to the start of the episode. It was just funny, it was just funny to watch that. Okay, so the start of the episode is Isaac walking around the ship, it's an old song, playing in the background, he's visiting everybody, and then he goes to the bridge where we find out Bortus is having a recoupling ceremony with Clyden. They have to go to a planet where this ceremony is about them recoupling, and in this recoupling ceremony, Bortus has to chase Clyden or hunt him down to show how much he loves him. I think that's why they're doing that. And so the crew are going to the planet to, watch it and be, the witnesses to the chase, because there has to be witnesses to make sure that Bortus actually chases Clyden, because that's the rule in Mokran society. Again, it's a crazy culture, but I find it fun to learn more about it. Anyway, so they do the ceremony, Clyden runs for it, Bortus goes after him, they have a little chase scene, and then Bortus catches Clyden and they have sex, which is pretty much the whole point of this. And they come back and Clyden tells them he's done it, and then Bortus tells them, and Clyden and Bortus just put their heads together and just stand there for no reason, and then you just have the crew literally not knowing what to do, so they just start clapping, and that was kind of funny. Then we go back up to the ship where Isaac starts to look at coupling rituals, and apparently now he wants to get more intimate with Finn, and so he proposes to Dr. Finn, and he wants to marry her. She's kind of not sure what to do, so Dr. Finn goes around the ships and asks for people's opinion, and she asks the kids, and then she says yes to Isaac. Whilst this is going on, we go to Mercer and Kelly, who get a message from a woman whose name is... what's her name again? Narcella, that's it. And she's from that planet, the Twitter planet, basically. You know, the one that voting up and down. And again, this is basically Twitter. They're taking a shot at here, and I'm fucking happy about it, because they're right. So they head off to Saria's 4, and they pick her up. She tells them that the voting system thing has gotten worse. 2 of her friends have been, had their brain fucked with, because if you remember from that planet, if you get downvoted to a serious extent, you get lobotomized or something, lobotomized. And she's called the Orville because she's sick of it and she wants to claim asylum. So Ed accepts it, and Kelly and her go through this massive story. And I want to kind of go on to that story now, because it's a long story and I think it's kind of the best part of the episode. Listen, the wedding's a great part of the episode, don't get me wrong. It's just that one, I really loved it. I loved how Kelly acted with Narcella and all the interesting stuff. But I'll go into that. So, Narcella gets asylum. Kelly shows her around the ship. She then shows her the engine room, and then she asks questions about entertainment. So Kelly then takes her to the holodeck. Now I know it's not called the holodeck, but listen, you all know it's the holodeck, okay? Just, bear with me. So she takes her to the holodeck. She shows her a planet in the Union where the people are living underwater or something. I kind of think what they were in. And she explains what they are, and then Narcella asks about how do you communicate, and she tells her that they have this special equipment that is something that helps them communicate with this species, and that's why they join the Union, and they're the best scientists in the Union, so that was good to find out. More into the episode, Narcella starts to ask questions about the Union, and like, why doesn't the Union help other planets, planets that are underdeveloped, don't have access to this technology, like the replicator. Again, I know it's not called a replicator, but we all know it's what it is. It's a replicator. I get it. So Narcella asks, why can't you give this technology to people who need it? And Kelly has to tell her that giving this technology to people who don't know how to use it is dangerous, because it could lead to, they don't know what it could lead to. It could lead to people getting killed, but slavery, it doesn't matter. But that's not the point. It's just they have no right to give that technology to any species. And it's such a Star Trek fucking episode, that bit. How they're trying to teach you something. Yes, you could give this technology to every fucking planet, and there'll be no more hunger, there'll be no more people dying of thirst. But that technology is dangerous in the wrong hands, and you don't know who's going to take control of it. Yes, the Union has replicators, but everybody has access to that technology. So it's pretty much like we're in the UK, we have complete access to our water. It's all over the place. You're never going to die of thirst in the UK. So we're not going to kill each other over a glass of water. But if you go to certain countries in the world, people will kill each other for a glass of water. And it's just, just to put something like, if we threw like water at these countries that need it, we'd be gods to them. And I know, I get what people are going to think, how you're going to say, but listen, we just don't have the right to do that because we're playing God. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it, I'm just saying, for the example, it's like, you're playing God in this situation. You're now, pretty much, you have control of these people. And if the wrong person gets in control of that water, of that technology, they could kill so many people. They could have so many people under their control in slavery. Again, it's just not worth the danger in handing over that technology. Yes, it's well, not evil, but yes, it's hurt, it's bad. You should, a lot of people are going to die that you could help. But in the long run, you are doing them a favour. You're not destroying their culture, and you're allowing their culture to grow and not try to take control of it. Which is what this technology would give you, complete control of the planet. And again, you don't know who's going to get control of the technology. I mean, think about this. What if we got replicators today? Somehow a Union ship got into our timeline and just gave out replicators. I mean, overnight, you would have just destroyed a shitload of industries. There's no point in shops anymore. No point in trucks, no point in, Amazon, warehouses. And there's like, everything would be destroyed and we'd all go insane. Yes, you've given us this great technology, but you've destroyed so many other things. You need a culture to evolve naturally, not just force it to grow. And that's what Kelly's trying to tell Narcella. But Narcella is from I'm going to say this, a backwards planet compared to the Orville's world. And again, you're just going to destroy them. Because they don't know what to do with this technology. And it would obviously get abused. You also get Kelly explain the universe to her. Which is like, how comes they don't work for money on Earth anymore? How comes they all work for free? And Kelly tells her, listen, money was useful once. But now our payment is, getting more smarter, helping our people. That's the real currency they have. A currency that's actually fucking useful. Now again, I'm not a fucking communist or anything, and I want all this to be gone. But I would love to live in a planet like that, where we didn't have to worry about money, where, we could do what we want, not saying we could do anything, but, to just go to a job that you want to do and help your fellow man and fix everything you want or do whatever you want. I mean, again, that would be a great culture to live in and not have to worry about bills, gas, electric, phone bills, like all this crap we have to deal with. It would be so great to live in a culture like that, but we're not there yet. It's going to take a long, I'm probably going to be dead before we even get near to that sort of, culture. But who knows, maybe humanity will wake up and see that money's pretty stupid. I'm not saying I'm a communist, but again, I would love to live in a Star Trek kind of world. It would be fun not to worry about, bills. Because, especially nowadays, wow. God, it would just be so great not to have to worry about that shit. Anyway, so the ending of this story is Narcella wants to go back to her planet because she feels guilty. She kind of thinks that she's escaped the pit, and the fact her people kind of all just gonna get killed by this up and down system eventually. And, she wants to go back. Don't know why, but yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I know why. But yeah, she wants to go back because she feels guilty. And so Kelly talks to Ed. Ed pretty much says fine, she'd go back, but they're not a taxi service, so she goes back for good. They're not coming back for her. So when she's heading on to the transport, which Gordon's going to fly her down in, the ship scans her and finds out that she has a device on her. And that device has all the information for their technology. No weapons, but all the technology that she wants to use to help her planet. And Kelly pretty much tells her to get off the shuttle and hand over the device. She does. And she's like angry about it. It's like, I just want to help people. But again, yes, you want to help people, but there's consequences to that. And so Kelly takes her to the holodeck, where she shows her a civilization that the Union first tried to help. That was, decades behind Earth, and they wanted to push them into the future. And unfortunately, when they did that, so many problems occurred. It started so many wars, and the people just ended up killing themselves, and that was the Union's fault. Again, good intentions to help these people, to stop hunger, to stop people killing each other, but unfortunately, the people are not ready for this technology. Again, I don't even think we, in this timeline, are ready for that technology, because we just wouldn't know how to use it, and it would destroy so many industries. But, so Kay shows her this. Narcilla starts to understand that yes, they could help, but they can't, because too many people could die, and too much could be fucked up by them helping. And so Narcilla then decides to stay on the Orville, and that's the end of the story. I thought that was great. Again, it felt like a fucking Star Trek episode, that bit. It really did. Learning a lesson, not having it forced down your throat, and again, to the point. No bullshit. Just, again, I do think he's taking a shot at Twitter. Personally, that's what I think Seth's trying to do here, but it's a great story. And, yeah. But back to the wedding stuff. So, Isaac then heads up to the bridge. Well, he heads up to the bridge. He asks Gordon to be his best man. But Bortus overhears and Jen just says, I want to be best man. So Isaac agrees. And Bortus becomes best man. Gordon is completely pissed off about this. And bitches about it every chance he gets. And Ed asks him the question like, are you more pissed off about this or when the Kalon invaded Earth? And Gordon says, I'm more pissed off about the wedding. and again, I thought that was funny as fuck. Again, comedy. Seth will put comedy in at the right moments. This isn't season 1 anymore. He's not just trying to get his show made. Because again, that's how he tried to get it made in the first place. He had to put comedy in it so Fox would give him the money. Because that's what Seth MacFarlane's known for. Comedy shows. So again, he's trying to move away from that. But I don't think he's ever going to completely get rid of comedy in shows. Anyway. And then we get the sandwich that appears. And it makes Gordon happy. And I was happy to see the sandwich come back too. Which was funny. Anyway, so Isaac has a bachelorette party. Dr. Finn has a bachelorette party. And at Dr. Finn's bachelorette party, we see a sexy dance with Isaac, which was funny to watch. At Isaac's party, Bortus sings in an Elvis outfit for some reason, which was kind of funny. But he was boring as fuck. I mean, wow, that is a bad voice, singing voice. Then Isaac calls Kalon Primary, and invites his entire race to the wedding, which I just found fucking hilarious. He invites all of the Kalon to his wedding, and when they arrive at the wedding, Ed's kind of like, what the fuck's going on, because there's 4,000 ships heading for them. Isaac has to tell him, don't worry, they're not here to kill us, they're coming for the wedding. Dr. Finn comes up and says, are you fucking crazy, Isaac? And Isaac's like, tells Primary they can't accommodate them all. He'll make sure that everybody can see by hooking up the computers so they can all see the wedding, which was good. Then we get to the wedding. I think I might be missing out a few things. Am I? No. Anyway, we get to the wedding. Isaac is human in this wedding. He's not in his suit. I love the dress uniforms, by the way. I love the dress uniforms that, Ed, Kelly and the rest are in. It looks great. Better than Star Trek's dress uniform, by the way. Again, it just feels like watching Star Trek, this show. It really does. I've never commented on uniforms, but I just love those uniforms. They look pretty good. Anyway, so they have the wedding. We see all the Kalon, and again, it just looks so fucking weird. The Kalon side to the human side. It was just funny to watch the Kalon reacting to in this wedding. Anyway, Isaac marries Dr. Finn. They say some things to each other that Dr. Finn loves him. Isaac then says a beautiful message about how he can't feel emotion, but when Dr. Finn terminated their relationship, he felt, well, he didn't feel it, but he was not happy about it, and he wants to keep her in her life. It was Isaac said it better. I'm sorry I can't get it for word, but yeah, it was a great scene. We then go to the after party where we see a returning character who's called Alora. Sorry. Alora. She came back for the final episode, and that's one of the reasons I do kind of think this show might be ending. I think Seth MacFarlane. I think the reason why we haven't seen anything really new in this show, I think Seth MacFarlane thinks the series is ending, and that's why I'm kind of a bit sad about it. Because again, I don't think Seth MacFarlane wants to create all these new worlds, all these new stories, if the show's going to be cancelled. And I think Seth MacFarlane's just like, listen, if I end all the lines, if I end all the stories, then at least the fans could have an ending to, enjoy. Now I know some people are going to say, what about the Mocklins, what about the Kalon, not Kalon, what about the Krill? I know, but he can't end everything. But he's trying to end most things so that the fans at least have an ending to this show. Again, I've got to respect him for that, because we don't know if this show is going to get another season, unfortunately. I mean, we're going to know. We already have all the other series of Star Trek that have all gotten greenlit for no fucking reason. But the Orville, we have to wait. Anyway, back to the episode. So Alora comes back. Dr. Finn sees her, they hug, and she's happy to be there. Turns out she's designing bases for the Union, so that's great to know. And then we get Bortus's toast, because he's the best man, so he's doing the best man speech. It was terrible. It was obviously going to be terrible. I mean, I was still waiting for the jokes, Bortus, because, come on. Every time he said... it was a terrible speech, man. He was trying to keep saying they were jokes, but it just felt more like he's just insulting them, and it was just funny to watch. And then, Isaac tells Bortus that he wants Gordon to now talk or say a toast, and then Gordon does one. It was great. And then Dr. Finn asks Gordon to sing. He does. It was a great song, and Kelly and Ed hold hands with each other, and I thought that was great. I'm not sure I want to see them get back together with each other. Again, I kind of like the fact they're friends. I know that some people are going to want them to get back together. For me, I kind of like them more as friends. I kind of think that's more of a better storyline than just having them to just get together. I don't know, that's just me. And then the episode ends. It was a great episode. Is it as good as the last two? No, but strong episode, fun episode, comedy as well. And yeah, it was a great season final. I hope the Orville gets a season 4. It fucking deserves it. Everything in this show is fun to watch. All 10 episodes, and they're not woke. They're not preachy. You're just there to enjoy it. That's all. I don't even think any of the fucking cast members have shot their mouths off on Twitter at any fan. This show respects that it is a show, not a fucking mouthpiece for fucking insane people. Unlike Star Trek. If this show does not get a season 4, then it is bullshit. We are getting a season 3 of Lower fucking Decks. And Lower Decks is gonna have a fucking spin-off episode with Strange New Worlds. That is how fucking ridiculous. Oh god. I hate this. I hate this. We know that the worst piles of shit are getting new seasons, yet something like this, something as good, as smart, as entertaining as the Orville, we might not see again because we don't know. I hope Disney renew this show. I want to see more Orville. This show respects its fans. This show is entertaining and fun. And I just have a bad feeling. Because usually anything good that comes out of this world gets destroyed by wokeness or just doesn't get renewed. And I have a feeling that if this does get renewed and more people watch the Orville, again, I want everybody to watch the Orville. What happens when the problem people start watching? And when I say problem people, I mean the SJWs. I mean the people who want to force politics into this show. And again, not saying the Orville is like apolitical, but it's not. It's like Star Trek used to be. It just gave you the information and you made your own fucking mind up. So if more people watch this, will Seth MacFarlane protect the Orville or will he cave? I don't know. I mean, this series is great, and that's because it's apolitical. It's fun. But I just don't know. I want to see it renewed. I do. But 3 great seasons, I think if it cuts off here, at least I can enjoy them. And it's not going to get destroyed by anybody or any twat on Twitter. But I do want to see more. I know Seth MacFarlane's got a book coming out of an episode he wanted to do in the Orville, but he couldn't do it because he couldn't afford it, or he couldn't do it because of COVID. So I want to see that. I do. I don't just want to read it, but I want to see it on the screen. I want to see more. But that's up to Disney, unfortunately. So if you do watch to this bit, please tell everybody you can, watch the Orville. We need this show back. Because I don't want to have to go into next year just watching Star Trek. I am sick of that shit show. Fucking waste of space assholes they are. And the Orville, which is the successor to Star Trek, just being left in the dust because Disney doesn't renew it. I hope they do, but I'm just going to say to fans, it might not be coming back. But let's try our hardest. Let's go out there and fight for it to come back, because this show is great. And that's the end of my review and the end of my video. If you like this review, give it a like. If you dislike this review, give it a dislike. And if you like my content, do think about subscribing. Entertainment Will Soldier. Bye.